I have been MIA for about 2.5 weeks. I'm going to explain to you exactly what has transpired during that time span for those of you who are interested, so that way you'll understand why I have not done a video in some time. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. We are at December 1st. December is a month that I love probably a lot, just due to the fact that obviously it's a month that a lot of people are celebrating. For those of you who celebrate Christmas on the 25th, you have that. Another reason why I like the month of December, for those of you who don't know, is I was born December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. Obviously, as a kid, I hated it growing up. But as time transpired and as you get older and you have more control over your life and so forth, it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want to do when you want to do it, as long as your credit is correct and your money's right. But nevertheless, I said that to say this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 things for you guys. Anybody who signs up for a 30-minute free consultation will get a free 30-minute consultation. On top of that, I just finished writing a brand new ebook, and I was thinking about selling it and figuring out what I can do. I've been MIA for so long. I figure in the month of December, this is something else. So not only will you get the free consultation with me, regardless of whether you sign up for credit repair or not, I will give you, after the consultation, a free ebook dealing with credit. This ebook is probably over 60 or 70 pages. I did put a little bit of work into this. Obviously, I was going to look at selling it. It was something I've finished up not too long ago. I was looking at selling it, but then I figured, you know what? Let me give it to each and every one of you guys for free. So for anybody who signs up for a 30-minute free consultation, at the end of that consultation, you will get that book for free. Okay? The second thing is this. From the month of December 1st, starting today till the 23rd, or the first 100 people, whichever happens first, I will give a discount on your monthly subscription. Typically right now, for every single person who signed up, they're paying either $99.99 to $129.99, depending on when you signed up. Every single person, the first 100 people who sign up from the 1st to the 23rd, or whichever comes first, will get to sign up for credit repair for $79.99. Again, I say $79.99 as a monthly rate. You are locked in at that rate. So the links are down below. Now, I'm going to try and not make this video too long with regards to where I was happening and what was transpiring with regards to everything that is happening. About 2.5 weeks ago, I have ballooned up to about 240. I was like 243 pounds at the max. I'm 6'1", so 243 pounds, a round guy. My 40th birthday is coming up on the 23rd of this month. And for the last like 3 months, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna lose some weight. I wanna look the best that I can look, the strongest I can look at the age of 40. I wanna look as good as I did around the time I was about 25 years old. So I decided one of the things that I have a big issue with is eating sugary foods, sugary candies, and so forth. And so I've done this before where I would cut out sugar in general. And the first time that I did that was probably about 1.5 years ago. And I got these headaches, migraines that killed me. And I figured it was just because of the sugar. And so the reality is, maybe for the first 2 or 3 days, I would get this headache. And after that, once I cut out sugar, only sugars I would have is natural sugars, like in, fruits and vegetables and so forth. I dropped a lot of weight just by cutting out sugar. But nevertheless, so this time around, I'm like, you know what? Hey, 2.5 weeks ago, I'm going to do it again. So the first day, and I'm talking about, this is after Halloween. So the kids, I have 5 kids. And they all went trick-or-treating. And oddly, man, my kids that I have that live at the house, they don't eat much candy. I'm the one who eat all the candy. And so I'm gobbling up all this candy and whatnot. And so, I'm like, all right, I need to slow my roll down and I need to cut out this sugar. So I stopped eating sugar so that first day I got a headache. It lasted about 10, 15 minutes, no biggie. It was a migraine. And I'm just like, hey, this must be the sugar. The next day, same thing, migraine. I'm just like, it's the sugar. Third day, same thing. It lasts a little longer, about 30 minutes. But, it was intense, but it was just like, what, this must be the sugar. I'm making sure I'm drinking water and I'm eating fruit and doing stuff that I have to do. That fourth day came along and I still got this headache. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it's only hurting on one side, my eye on the right side, and like, in this area, it's just throbbing. And so that fourth day comes along, and then I end up getting this migraine, but it was a headache. I didn't know it was a migraine at the time, but I end up getting this headache, and it lasts for about an hour. And I'm sitting here actually in my office working, and I remember I had to turn off all the lights, and I laid down on the floor to relax. And this went on for about an hour. And so by this time, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I know I'm eating candy, and I know now that I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising in the morning and so forth. Could this still be a sugar withdrawal? I need to go and see a doctor. So I go and see the doctor, and the doctor tells me, they believe that I have allergies to something. And so I've never had allergies to anything, but I'm telling them about this headache and stuff that I'm having, the food that I'm eating and so forth. And she said, during this time, because if you live in San Diego, one day it could be 81 degrees. I live a little more inland. One day it could be 81 degrees. The next day it could be 65 degrees. The next day it could be 91 degrees. It's great weather, obviously, for the winter time a lot of times, but the doctor was telling me the fluctuation in the weather, it's windy, it's, dry, it's humid, not really humid, but it's, dry and so forth, that it's aggravating a lot of people's allergies. And so she prescribed to me basically some Flonase and basically some Claritin, a pill to take every day, and that'll be that. So for the first 2 days, I'm taking these, the Flonase in my nose. She told me to take it every 2 to 4 hours, and the headaches are gone. I'm not getting any of those, more of those migraines for 2 days. That third day comes along, and all of a sudden I get another migraine. And this migraine lasts almost 2.5 hours. And it's painful, unbearable. And one of the things with this migraine that I noticed is if I didn't take pills or take something before the actual migraine started, pretty much no matter what I took, that migraine would last for a long time, 2.5 hours. So the Flonase wasn't working anymore. The Claritin, obviously my throat was dry. A lot of stuff was going on as far as allergies go. But these migraines were intense. So it was 2.5 hours that first day. Then the next day I went and I'm taking his medicine and stuff. I think it was like a Tuesday the first time. It was a Wednesday. So Thursday I'm taking the medicine, I'm doing all the stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and get ahead of these migraines. Because by now what's happening with the migraines is they're happening in the morning, they're happening in the noon, and they're happening in the evening time. And so I'm taking medicine and doing all the stuff to prevent the stuff from happening. But for whatever reason, one of those migraines throughout the day would slip through and it would last forever. So the second day I had this migraine, same thing, but this time it lasted about 3 hours. And, it was intense and it was just very, very difficult, very hard to deal with. I called my doctor. My doctor's telling me, hey, am I taking, the Flonase and the Claritin? I'm like, yeah, none of that stuff's working. And so, she's just like, you gotta sort of kind of go through the pain. And what they're trying to do is wean me off of the actual pills. I'm taking Excedrin. I'm taking all these, medicine to actually help with the migraines. And so the third day comes and I'm just like, okay, I cannot deal with this migraine. I don't want to go through this again. It lasts 2 hours, now 3 hours. What if this thing lasts even longer? And so I decided, you know what? Normally these migraines are happening later in the evening. I'm going to go to the emergency room. Now, those of you who live in California, you know, you go to the emergency room, you're going to be there for 8 hours. So I figured, you know what? I can get in there early, like around noon, and around 8 o'clock, maybe the migraine will happen, but I'll be in the hospital. They'll be able to give me medicine and so forth to help me out. So I go in there. Obviously, they're going to make me wait longer because there are people in there that are having pain and all types of stuff. I tell them my pain is not that bad, but I know that I have a migraine that's going to come, that my pain will be at 20. 1 out of 10, it'll be at 20, and it'll be unbearable. And, you know, that's why I'm there. So obviously, I'm at the hospital forever. But I'm not having any migraines, but I'm sitting out and waiting. I end up getting my wife to come. I'm sitting out, I'm waiting. So from 12 o'clock all the way to about, I didn't get seen to about 8:30. I go into the back, I see the doctor, I tell the doctor my situation, my circumstance, everything that's transpiring. They want to do a CAT scan on my brain and make sure everything's okay, but it's taking forever. And so, you know, he told me, okay, you know, go back out there. They're going to, you know, they have me set up for a CAT scan. So I'm waiting for this CAT scan. I've been in this, by this time I'm in there almost 9-10 hours. And so then the doctor calls me back again, and he's just like, hey, you know, how are you doing? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm telling him, you know, I don't necessarily have a migraine. You know, obviously I feel sick and so forth. They're telling me it's allergies, whatever the circumstance is. He's like, yeah, we need to get in there and look. Because during that time I had a couple nosebleeds. But nevertheless, you know, he's just like, hey, to get that MRI on my brain, the CAT scan on my brain, there's like 6 people ahead of me. And so, you know, and it takes about an hour each person. And I'm just like, dude, it's 10 o'clock at night. I've been here all this time. I'm like, this migraine, for whatever reason, is not hurting. By this time, I'm just like, let me go home. You know, I have an appointment set up on actually the 7th of this month where they're going to do, you know, the CAT scan of my brain and check all of that stuff out. So as I'm about to leave, he goes, you know what? When you first came into the hospital, your temperature was at like 100, was, you know, at 100 degrees. And he's like, have you been tested for COVID? And I'm like, yeah, during this whole time, no, I haven't. I mean, I've been tested for COVID in the past, always came out negative. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to test you for COVID just as a last measure because, you know, your temperature was a little high. And then you could go on about your way. No biggie. So they do the old school testing where they stick that thing all the way up my nose. I have to let them swab all deep down in my nose. But nevertheless, they do it. They take the test. No biggie. I go home from the emergency room that day, eat and so forth. I take a little bit of medicine. I don't necessarily have the migraine. You know, it throbs a little bit, but I've been taking medicine for it. That next day, results come back as positive for COVID. So I talk to my doctor, I get a nurse on the line and so forth. They're talking to me, explaining to me the situation with regards to COVID. And they're saying because I had COVID, that could have been the reason why my allergies, everything, it just made everything out of whack and worse. And, you know, if I'd have probably been diagnosed with COVID beforehand, chances are I probably had it from the start of this thing. I would have been a lot better. But nevertheless, I tested positive for COVID. It has been past that time frame. You know, I quarantined for the 14 days, and now I'm back in the office, and I'm, you know, back going. COVID, I wasn't a person who was vaccinated. I mean, I think a lot of you guys out there know and you understand COVID-19 is real. The difference is, you know, getting vaccinated and not getting vaccinated. The great thing about America right now and how things are going, you have the choice to choose. Obviously, it's something you don't want to spread to everyone else. That's why I did quarantine. I'm not going to get into whether you should get the vaccine shot or you shouldn't get the vaccine shot. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to you. But nevertheless, that is why I was gone for all this time. Today, still today, even though I've been quarantined for the 14 days with the COVID, the reality is my breathing is a little messed up. I do still have a lot of mucus in my lungs and so forth. This is something that I've gone through that I've never dealt with in my life. It's probably been one of the toughest things. And everyone at my house tested positive for COVID. I believe I got it from one of my kids from school or whatever the circumstances. We all quarantined. We're all getting better now. Thank you guys who stuck around through the YouTube and so forth. I don't know how it works, but I was still getting subscribers without any new videos. Thank you for all you guys who are brand new, who subscribe to Ask a Debt Collector, backed by Clear and Strategic Credit Repair Services. So that's my situation. Thank you guys for listening to it. I do have a bunch of videos, a plethora of videos I'm going to be putting out and uploading for you guys. Free information to help you out. Don't forget, between December 1st and the 23rd, sign up for a free consultation, 30-minute consultation. The link will be down below in the description. And whether you sign up for credit repair or not, I will send you my free ebook that I just finished writing. So check that out. Hopefully that'll help you out for free, absolutely free, no obligation. And then secondly, for those of you who do sign up, the first 100 people will be locked in at $79.99 for credit repair. Same service, just a little bit cheaper. Something I'm doing in the month of December to help you guys out. So if you are interested in that, obviously once you sign up for the consultation, if you do sign up and you want to sign up for credit repair, I'll have the information and so forth for you, so that way you can sign up for and get the discount for the credit repair. Now, if you have any questions about COVID-19, anything that you have questions about what I went through, I can only give you my perspective of what I went through, what happened, and so forth. Anything about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as I always state, you be great.